unnecessary intro song to totally waste your time.
You ever heard of the amazing Polly? She blocked me just now. And the only reason why she hasn't blocked me years ago is because I've always thought she was a dumb idiot and I didn't comment on her shit. She's part of what I call this weird new thing, and you see it on the left and the right. And it's mostly women, but they're fortune tellers. That's what they are. They're fortune tellers. Her job is to be a fortune teller, right? A psychic, to gaze into the future and tell you what is going to happen, who the evil people are and what they're going to do. And she knows, they know, these witches, they know what's going to happen. They know who's good and they know who's evil. They have their intuition, they trust their gut. They're constantly broken up with by men. They choose, but they know. They know. They have the intuition. They know who's good and who is evil. It's such a racket, the fortune telling thing. And you know what? It's not just Amazing Polly. It's not just women, but it's mostly women. Alex Jones belongs in this category too. So does Stuart Peters. You know. Who else? What's that guy? That nerdy guy. There's a bunch of them, right? But the women ones are just a little different. Alex Jones, same kind of thing. We got the white papers. I got the white papers. You know, here's their plan. Here's the plan. I got the plan. I know everything the way it's going to work. Making 1,000 predictions, you know. It's like when you see these people go, oh man, he was right about all these things. It's like, okay, yes, he's been right. If you make 100 predictions a day, some of them are going to come true. Watch, I'll make one. The sun is going to come up tomorrow. Amazing. I'm a prophet. Things are going to get bad before they get worse. That's a prediction. There will be an earthquake at some point tomorrow. There are earthquakes every day. I'm a prophet. You know, but I got blocked from her because, you know, this whole thing, I've been glued to media watching this transition because it's been fascinating. Trump's had a camera on him the whole time. Like he's literally interfaced with reporters more in the last few days than Biden did for the entire 4 years he was in office. You know, he's a transparent guy, you know, and yesterday, maybe it was the day before yesterday, I guess it was, he had this thing and I saw him coming out of the Oval Office for a press conference with Sam Altman and I was immediately thinking, oh shit, you know, why is Sam Altman in there? Because I don't trust Sam Altman. You know, because I don't like the way he's shifty. I just don't trust him. I'm being one of those witches right now, you know. But the reason why I don't trust him is because of what he's done with OpenAI. First of all, he turned it into closed AI and made a deal with Gates and Microsoft. And then he turned ChatGPT into this woke nonsense, you know. And so there's a million reasons to not like Sam Altman. Not to mention his sister accusing him of raping her for her whole life. You know, apparently it was an incestuous household. I don't know if it's true, but why would his sister say that? That's a pretty crazy thing. I've got 17 siblings and nothing that crazy has happened in that house, you know? And I can't imagine one of them. I talk shit about my sisters, but anyway, I'm not going to say it's credible. I'm not going to say it's not credible. But if your sister's accusing you of raping her your whole life, you didn't come from a good family, all right? Because if she's lying, something bad happened in that family. And if she's telling the truth, something worse happened in that family. Do you know what I mean? Do I want this guy creating the con of the century? By the way, okay, so he comes out of the Oval Office with Trump, and he and Larry Ellison, who's another guy who you don't need to trust. But they announce Trump is basically, and they come out with Japanese name, last name Son guy, the SoftBank dude who lost a bunch of money with WeWork, an investor. Apparently, he's only worth about $35 billion, but he's promising to invest up to $500 billion in these joint ventures with OpenAI and Larry Ellison's group and NVIDIA and a bunch of other groups to develop AI data centers and stuff like that here in the U.S. You know, this big promise of AGI, artificial general intelligence. And they keep saying it's going to change the world. And okay. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. You know, so far there are some things that are super impressive with AI. Finally, Grok is a much better search engine than Google, right? For example, if you need a quick answer to something, boom. You don't need to trust everything, but if it's, you know, matches your experience and blah, 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 it works better than Google, you know? But Google used to be almost as good. That's the funny thing, is 20 years ago, Google and Yahoo were good. It's only because they suck now that Grok is better. You know what I mean? So it's a search engine. It's a fast search engine. It can find a bunch of stuff, index it, know how to put the context together and give you pretty decent results. You know, and you can kind of tell when it's wrong. It's like, okay, I know you're wrong about this, try again. You know, give it some clarification. And it works with good, it understands common English. The whole, you know how searching Google used to be an art to figure out, well, how do I search this? How do I find, well, how do I word it so I get the results that I want? Well, AI has made that easier. Now you can just use your voice and ask it a bunch of rambling questions. You don't even need to make that much sense, but it can kind of figure it out. And it's pretty good at that, you know? It's pretty good at figuring out how human beings speak and getting what you're after. So anyway, but it's not that impressive, you know? It's amazingly impressive when it comes to the images and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's impressive, but it still suffers from garbage in, garbage out. It's never smarter than what has been input by somebody. So, I mean, the chances you're going to get the best answer in the world or something unique and amazing from it are very low because it's only categorizing things that human beings have already written and said. It's ranking them, predicting, and providing what it thinks is going to be the most reliable answer. But the most reliable answer was provided by a bunch of humans, and humans are stupid. And so it's only going to be as good as the human beings. It's only going to be as good as the data that it's getting, and the data that it's getting is getting from humans, right? And humans, as amazing as we are, in the whole scheme of things, we're pretty dumb, okay? Even the geniuses among us. So anyway, so they make this big announcement that these private companies are doing this deal between them, and as far as the government's concerned, Trump wants to brag about it. You know, that's what he does, and he's good at it, and it's smart to do it. It's smart to say, I told you that I was going to bring investment into, instead of sending money abroad, I'm going to bring it in. That's his big promise. So here's his moment. Here's this little short Japanese guy saying, I will invest $100 billion and maybe $500 billion into America. You know, that's what he's doing. Now, behind closed doors, I'm guessing that Trump was saying free market type shit, saying, hey, we'll get out of your way. We'll make sure that, you know, we'll streamline it so the government won't be in your way. That should be, obviously, the same kind of privileges anybody should have. Any business should have the government step out of the way. But we don't want to say, well, you don't step out of the way for me, so why are you stepping out of the way for him? We say, oh, you stepped out of the way for them, now step out of the way for me. You always want to promote stepping out of the way. So if he steps out of the way, you have a precedent. You can say, well, you stepped out of the way for them, so step out of the way for me. Anyway, amazing Polly. She's this, psychic. She's a predictor, a genius, a smart person and a doomer. These are the people that are telling us that no matter what, we're doomed. The technocracy is going to take us over. We're going to be enslaved. By the way, I grew up on a healthy diet of doomsdayists. That's being raised Mormon, Armageddon, the end times have always been a part of my life. Anything that happened, any weather event, my mom would be like, it's the end of times. We're in the last days. We're at 12:59, and then the world will end and Jesus will come back. And so we're still in that. For my entire 57 years of life, we've been in the last days. I'm not going to lie and say that things don't seem to be ramping up. Of course they are. But it did then too. It always seems like it's getting closer and closer and worse because we fail to recognize the things that are getting better. mRNA, when people talk about COVID, this is what drives me nuts about the COVID thing is people go, it was COVID, it was a biological weapon, it was developed in Wuhan. And I'm like, dude, you don't know anybody who died of COVID who wasn't already beating down death's door. So let's say that they did develop in a lab. Guess what? Good news. It was a failure because it didn't kill anybody that the regular flu wouldn't have killed. Secret hint, did kill. Anyway, it was seasonal illness. They didn't gain of function the flu as much as maybe they had hoped. They made it seem like that, but it didn't really work that way. Now, the vaccine, there can be arguments made that the vaccine is the actual weapon, and that's what these people are all saying about this news conference with Sam Altman and Larry Ellison, is because Larry Ellison, when he got to the podium and he tried to make it an example of what AI could be used for, he was stupid. Apparently he's out of touch and he doesn't realize that most of the people are not hearing the word mRNA and thinking, great. And he goes into this, well, AI will help us develop mRNA. So if somebody has a specific illness, we can tailor it, a specific vaccine just for them or medicine or whatever you want. An injection, let's just call it an injection. We can tailor a bunch of little robots to go in there and find the disease of this person and to fix it. Maybe, maybe not. That's a big goal now, isn't it? But everybody's freaking out. Well, mRNA, that's what they use for the COVID shots, and now people are dying of heart attacks. Yes, okay, agreed. I don't have all the data, but it's sure. I have a couple friends that dropped dead. My best friend from high school, my second best friend from high school, I should say, dropped dead. He had a physique like a superhero when he dropped dead. His parents are old. Both of his parents lived into their 90s. There's no reason why he should have dropped dead, but he became a lawyer. He went to school. He got wrapped up in that whole thing, and he got vaxxed. And that's why he's dead, in my opinion. I can't prove it, but come on. We all see it. All these people dropping dead. So the mRNA vaccine seems to have killed more than COVID. So it's very easy to just go, mRNA sucks, goodbye, nevermore. But that, to me, is stupid. That's like saying, oh, there was a nuclear accident, therefore nuclear is bad, no more nuclear weapons. Oh, I got shocked by electricity, therefore electricity is bad, I'm unplugging everything. Back to the cave for me. That's also stupid. Water, my friend drowned. I'm never going to drink again. No more water for me. I don't know what mRNA. I mean, it seems stupid to monkey around with biology at that level. It does. It seems stupid, right? But it also seems stupid, if before anybody ever had heart surgery, ripping open somebody's chest and sewing them back together again seemed probably stupid. Aspirin seems stupid. There's a lot of things we take for granted now that seemed totally stupid years ago. And I'm not sitting here trying to defend the drug dealers. I'm not. I don't take drugs. I think it's probably best to avoid them. I think most of them are probably do you more harm than good. I think there's probably natural ways to solve your problems more than taking a drug. But I've also smoked pot a couple times. I've also had drinks a couple times, and they have effects, and sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. Right now, I'm in fairly good health, knock on wood. But at some point, I might not be. So I kind of appreciate all the human guinea pigs that are willing to say, go ahead and experiment on me. Go ahead, do it. I do. I don't appreciate the COVID ones because they didn't do it with informed consent. Most of them were just a bunch of dumb shits that were afraid and cowardly. I don't like anything about the COVID thing. But we're past that now. So now people have enough evidence in front of them to go, okay, what's this RNA shit, mRNA? Let me figure this out. And they can do actual trials. And now maybe because of their big fuck up with COVID, people will be paying more attention, and that's good. But I'm kind of getting off track. But what I'm saying about these witches and these Alex Jones types is they've got their minds made up, or they pretend to know what the future will bring. And they don't. Okay? And no matter what, even if they have appointed themselves as these clarions of truth and warning and don't do this because in the Bible it says this or that. There's all these different ways that they say, this is the thing, this is the mark of the beast, and blah, blah, blah. Avoid this, and transhumanism is bad. And I go, okay, yes, I agree. You don't, but, am I going to say that to somebody with a pacemaker? That's a robot inside of their body that's keeping their heart pumping. Life is precious. Consciousness is precious. People that are trying to prolong a person's life and to hold on to that consciousness aren't necessarily doing something that's evil, playing God. Who gave them this curiosity? This drive to look through microscopes and experiment, to dig holes, to go where no man has gone before. Didn't God give them that curiosity? Or does God want us to put on blinders and just march forward and sing praises and never look? He doesn't want us to smell the flowers. He doesn't want, smell it, but don't smell too much. Don't get in there and poke around. What are you doing spreading? Why are you putting your finger on the pollen and putting it on another plant? Why are you crossbreeding plants? You playing God? Why are you letting that horse fuck that donkey to make a mule? Playing God? It's all just, to me it's anti-God, the way these people act. It's like they have no faith in God. And when I say God, I'm talking about reality. I'm talking about everything. I'm not talking about a white guy with a beard in the sky with muscles. I'm talking about everything, the miracle of existence of everything that predates me, predates you, the trees, the land, the sky, the clouds, everything is here. It's undeniable. It doesn't require belief. It's knowledge. We know that miracles are everywhere. We're living in a miracle, And so everything that happens within that miracle is also just a miracle on top of a miracle, including, and every discovery has the potential to be terrible or the potential to be good, and will likely be used for both purposes. Just as guns are used for good and evil, so will AI be used for good and evil. There's no guarantee. You can't lock it down on one side. You just can't. I don't think that's the way God/nature works. Nature mitigates. Nature finds balance. That's the consistent thing of nature. It finds balance. You know? It doesn't allow things to get out of control. Not completely. For spells, I mean, that doesn't, when you get murdered, that what I just said is stupid, but the murder's not going to go free forever, you know? The pendulum swings back. Nature's ultimately fair, and that is equally unfair to everyone, as far as I can tell. But what do I know? Anyway, yeah, mRNA, whatever that is, I looked into it in the beginning of COVID, and I wasn't convinced. I didn't take the vaccine. I haven't taken any on my own in my life. I had some forced upon me as a baby, you know? But I don't care that people are developing them. And I'm fine with people developing them because I'm an adult and I can see and I can say, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to. That doesn't look like something I want. You haven't sold me on it. But that doesn't mean I won't be sold someday. You know, at some point, something might happen. I might lose my vision, or I might lose my hearing, or something. And there might be a product out there that somebody introduced, and there might have been hundreds of guinea pigs before me that have used this product, and it restored whatever they lost, the use of a limb or whatever. And if it was an implant in their brain, or an injection, or an implant in their butthole, whatever it was, I would look at it and I'd go, what are the reviews? Let me check the Yelp review on the brain implant. 1 star. I don't think I'll do it. I'm not going to do it. Although that 1 star review, you know, seems to be unreasonable. And there's a couple of 5-star reviews, you know. And I'm desperate. My prognosis is grim, you know. My legs ain't a-working, and I don't have any friends to come lift me to the toilet. You know, maybe I'll gamble at that point. But I don't like anybody that wants to say, no, you can't do it. Because that's the alternative a lot of these people are saying, you know. Oh, I can't believe Trump is making a deal. First of all, he didn't make a deal, okay? This is private enterprise. At the most, he's getting out of the way, which is what he should do. The government should always get out of the way. And that's what blows me away is a lot of these so-called conservatives, in a lot of ways, want the government to be in the way. They would rather see Trump say, no, we will no longer allow anybody to study AI. We're putting an end to that now. No more investments. Okay, great. Great. That's what you want. You want a government to tell you what you can be curious about. You know, what you can do with your spare time. Do not look through that microscope. It is banned. Do not invest your money. Do not build a generator because it's scary. Technology is scary. Electricity is scary. Wind is scary. Water is scary. The ocean's fucking scary. Volcanoes are scary. But they're also amazing. Lightning's amazing. Thank goodness for the people that figure out how to harness it. I mean, look, maybe not. Maybe we'd all be better just in the Dark Ages. Maybe cavemen were happier. They might have been. But it doesn't matter because this is what is happening. This is reality. Whatever made me and you made us to make things too. So make is what we do. Anyway, people freak out too much. People doom too much. They gloom too much. They pretend to know what the future is going to be like too much. They predict bad things in the future too much. Predict good things in the future. Is that crazy? If you're going to imagine a future, you know, maybe mRNA will work, you know? How many failures have to happen? How many times did Thomas Edison shock himself with electricity before he figured out the light bulb? I don't know, probably a lot of times, you know? On the way to success are a lot of failures, you know? And mRNA seems like it was, the COVID version seems to have been a spectacularly horrible one. So I personally don't have that much faith in Larry Ellison and Sam Altman. But if they've got $500 billion and they want to spend it building some other kind of crazy infrastructure, if their thing doesn't turn out, we can probably use that infrastructure for something else. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to stop them. I don't want to stop them. You know what I want? I want everybody, all you good people, to buy guns and bullets. Because as long as the citizenry have a bunch of guns and bullets, it keeps these guys in check. Because that's the reality. These guys are little fleshy bags of meat. They aren't. None of these people, Trump, Elon, Sam, Larry, Soros, Gates, none of these people are, in fact, lizards from another planet. They aren't androids or robots. They are fleshy bags of meat. And they can die. And they have fears. And we can keep them in check. If they get out of line, we can put them back in line. But the key to keeping them in line is to keeping yourself armed and alert and prepared and chipper and happy and ready to fight. You know? Do your thing, Larry. Got my eye on you, buddy. You know? As long as we have the control of ourselves, as long as people are doing things voluntarily, fine. Make your stupid vaccines. Inject yourself. I don't give a shit. You know? I'm not going to do it until I see you get good results. You know? You go be the guinea pig and leave me alone. You know? Anyway, it really is. It's about keeping gun rights. That's where we should focus our attention. Not on stopping Zuckerberg, not on stopping Musk, not on stopping, because that requires totalitarianism. And I promise you, you don't want that. That's not what we want. We don't want a government to come in and say, Musk, you can't do it. Larry, you can't do it. Bezos, no more for you. No more rockets for you. We don't want that. Okay? What we want is a public that can keep them in check. A public with the tools to keep up. Anyway, I'm not going to miss Amazing Polly showing up in my Twitter feed. I never followed her anyway. I only saw her reposts from other witches. Know-it-all witches. Priestesses. I don't miss them. I don't miss the church ladies. I don't. And I don't miss the new church ladies on the left. I don't miss the church ladies on the right. I don't miss the church ladies. Anyway, that's enough of my yapping. Thanks for listening.